Well, good morning, everyone. This is July the 27th. I'm going to do just a brief walkthrough of the muscadine patch this morning. We've had several, probably a week of rain, so we're combating a couple of things. We've got a lot of weeds growing at the base of the vines, and also the black rot seems like it's come on pretty strong. Anyway, we're going to do a brief walkthrough and kind of show you the progress of the grapes and what's happening. Hope you enjoy. This morning we're going to start out here with a view of the lane. We really enjoyed the lane. It put on a few grapes. It's kind of winding down right now. There are a few left on the vine. But we really enjoyed it. This was the first year that it produced any. We are combating a little black rot on it. Like I say, we got a lot of rain. Now we've got some jumbo that are just coming into season. We've been eating a few of those, and they've been pretty good. This is a coward. This is its second year in the ground. Not sure why it doesn't want to put on any fruit. It did have what appeared to be a few blooms, but that was about it. It kind of fizzled out after that. This is another jumbo. It's just starting to turn. We have eaten a few off of it also. It's a pretty good sized grape so far. Not super spectacular, but it is pretty nice. Sometimes in my age I forget what they are, but these little tags kind of refresh my memory. Remind me of what they are the year I planted them. Or put them in the ground, I should say. This is a seedless fry. It had grapes on it. They were pretty tasty little rascals, and it looks like they're all gone now, but it is trying to put on some additional bloom, maybe. Don't know if we've got enough time in the season. You'll see there's some early fruits, or late fruits here, I should say. Once again, more bloom. It is July, so I don't know if they've got time to develop before it gets really cold here in North Florida. Got a late fry. There may be a rare one that appears to be ripe, quite tasty, so we've been enjoying a few of those. This, I think, is a Carlas, and it does suffer. It's got some rot on it. I do need to spray it again. I've been trying to spray. The rain kind of upset my schedule. Anyway, the Carlas has got a few on it. Once again, all these plants, this is the second year it has been in the ground. There are some that are starting to turn a little golden brown. Delicious juice until you hit the skin, and then it becomes a different story. Something else on that skin, just astringent. Anyway, it is a juice wine grape, so it is what it is. This is a fry. It got quite a bit of damage from the hurricane. You can see where it's healing nicely. Got broke off here during the hurricane, so, well, maybe not there. Looks like something ran into it or got slung into it. Anyway, it's healing up nicely, and the fruit, I can understand why a lot of people plant a lot of fry. It is delicious. Delicious. Got an occasional one that's beginning to turn on it. Got a noble that's got a lot of new growth on it. Mr. Hurricane kind of broke it off, so we had to start all over again on it. It's got some fruits beginning to turn on it. This is my old standby, has been for many, many years. This is a Southland, and it is just loaded up again, year after year. I've probably had this vine for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. And it never, ever disappoints. It just, may not be the biggest or the newest variety, but I've had older kids and younger kids and grandkids that have enjoyed this vine. So, or the fruit of the vine, I should say. And they're starting to get ripe. A lot of them are starting to turn real dark. Have to let it get really, really dark black before you eat it. Then it's really kind of a nice old grape. Got a few jumbos, or not jumbos, I'm sorry, supremes coming on. Once again, I've got a spray. Might look like we even need a little bit of Epsom salts on them, a little magnesium. I really need to get a soil test also. Black Beauty. Black Beauty had a few on it. What we've tasted so far has been kind of good. It's starting to turn a few, and some have already turned, but fruit's kind of thin on it this year. Hopefully next year it'll do better. I've seen different videos and different reports. Some say that it's better that the spurs are pointed upward. And once upon a time I had all my spurs pointed upward, but when the hurricane hit, it kind of rearranged my pattern. I'll show you here in a few minutes when they're young, how I try to run them down the vine. Now this is my southern home, and as I saw someone else say, it grows like kudzu. So if you're from the south, you probably know what kudzu is, I'm sure. But anyway, this is the second year. It also puts on a lot of grapes, and if you let them get really, really, really ripe, it's very good too. It has a very good taste to it. Pretty grape. Yeah, if you let them get but it's not very big. You can see the size of it. Of course, that'll give you a better idea. I think this is probably a Pam. It's got quite a few fruit on it. I've got to learn how to gauge when they need to be thinned. That one's got a ton. Now this is my Delicious, and it just loses its mind. I think it probably overbears too, but if you let it get very ripe, it's just wonderful. It gets rather large at that point. Seems like I've been picking for almost a month off of it already, and it's still got fruit and still got the beginnings of bloom, just trying to bloom still, which is crazy. But you can see all the fruit on it. And you'll see the size of the clusters. It's a nice sized grape. I've got 3 of these vines. I'm not exactly sure of the age. I had a friend that gave them to me, and I transplanted them. And I think this is probably the 2nd year they've been at this location. Anyway, that kind of give you an idea how thick they are. Just ripening them, and I guess with the amount of foliage and leaves I've got on it, it appears to be putting a pretty good amount of sugar in them, so hopefully it'll be consistent and bear fruit next year also. Not be cyclic in its production. Say it needs to be really black. That one's not ripe enough yet to still have some red on it. There's a better cluster with a better color on it. Last year I liked it so much that I planted, I think maybe 6 more. I've got pretty close to 10 vines of Delicious. This is a late fry, no fruit on it, but it is loaded up. Got good amount of vine on it too. It's still trying to put on fruit, it looks like. I don't know what the deal is with that. A lot of these seem to just continue to bear. This is another Southern Home. Need to get it cut up off the ground. It is just goes crazy. And once again, the fruit on it is really tasty. Some of the documents I was reading say that Southern Home is one of the most productive. You can actually see it's even trying to put on new berries. It's got different stages of growth on it as far as berry production, the age of the berries. Now this was a surprise to me. I bought this vine at Walmart of all places. It's a Summit, and it is a very good grape. Not super large, but it has a delicious flavor. I haven't looked up the parentage of the grape. Grows fast too. I'm not sure if it's got fry in its background or what, but it's pretty tasty. It looks like from the colors that it's just coming into fruitfulness. Got some fruit rots and looks like a wasp hand on that one. Something. You can see the size of these vines. To be 2-year-old vines, that is a big vine. That is that's a late fry. And these are my Darlenes. Now the Darlene, I was a little let down by the amount of fruit that it had on it. This is, like I say, the second year. It may have more in the future. But what I have tasted, I can understand why people rant and rave about the flavor and how delicious they are, because it is true. If you had a vine you want to kind of stash away for yourself, this would be it. But as much as I like a lot of these grapes, so do the birds and all the critters. Another late fry. Got some dragonflies or skeeter hawks or whatever else you want to call them out in the garden this morning. I hope to get better. I've had one vine for a long time. I just kind of put it out, the Southland. Like I say, I've had it for probably 20 years. I just kind of, when I first got it, just put it out and let it go. Never fertilized it, never watered it, never did anything to it. Just ate the grapes off of it. I did cut it back every once in a while, but that was only because I needed to move it or it got too rampant. This is one of my new vines. This is a Triumph, I believe. Something new. Yep, it's a Triumph. I bought that one at Tractor Supply. I've been trying to, if you look at these, I've been trying to alternate them as the tendrils and hang them below the trellis, and then I'll wrap the tendril around just a little bit to give them a head start. And hopefully I can keep them. Once again, it goes back to the question, is it better to have the spurs pointed up, or is it better to have the spurs pointed down? And I don't know the answer. I see varying opinions on it. Just don't know. This is Darlene. After tasting them, I thought it might be nice to have this is the first year it's been on the ground. It's still got a long ways to go. I saw everyone talking about the Ison grape, so I got online with Ison's Nursery and ordered me one. I hear they're a good pollinator, very productive, so we'll see. This one is another Darlene. I put it in the ground this year. You can see the date and all that. This is a Triumph. And last but not least, having enjoyed the Supreme this year, I can understand why people plant a lot of Supremes. They are very good, very big. I've got a photo that I took of one that I picked. It was almost as big as a ping pong ball. Not quite, but it was close. Once again, I got to spray for a little black rot. Vines over here, I ran another row. All my vines, the majority of my vines currently run east and west. I know that north and south is supposed to be the preferred direction for the rows, but I didn't know all that when I planted them, so it is what it is. So anyway, the last row I planted it on a north-south orientation. And in this row I've got two southern homes, and then the rest of the whole row is Delicious. Delicious is self-fertile, so the thought process I have is perhaps over here where all these fig trees are, is maybe expanding and running a north-south orientation with some Supremes, or maybe some Lanes or something of that sort. Lane's a very good grape too. Enjoyed it. I do find that the birds seem to peck the black ones more than they do the bronze ones so far. Of course, I don't have many ripe bronze ones, so. This is the first year Delicious, and you can see how this rascal is already attempting to put fruit on all over the place. Now it does have a fair amount of foliage on it, but it's crazy, like I say, for a first year vine. And it does grow pretty good, so I don't know if that's focusing or not. Hard to get it. But all of these first year vines, first year in the ground, I'm really trying to put on. And I guess that's just an indicator of what it's going to be in the future when they get a little age on them, how much fruit. And here's what I was talking about with going alternate sides underneath the wire. You'll see that it's stuff, the leaves and everything are coming out. I don't know if that's the best practice or not, but I guess as long as we get grapes and they taste good and life is good. Other thing that I guess I need to figure out is when's the best time to spray. In the morning or in the afternoon. Usually, as far as wind, I find the least wind in the morning and the afternoon. So I don't catch as much drift. Rascals, let's say for a brand new and already got little grapes on it. Once again, I don't think those are going to do. Of course, I don't think I really need to worry about growth on the vine either. It looks like it's filled out pretty well, so I thought about going through and pinching them all off, but that seems like that'd be a lot of effort for the Delicious. Seems like it's got its own mind and has been growing wide open. Like I say, it has a bunch of fruit at an early age. I've been pretty pleased with a Delicious so far. I'm curious to see, and pondering the process of squeezing some juice out of all of them to see which one makes the best juice. So, anyway, guys, it's getting time to eat breakfast here, so I'm gonna take it on inside and I hope you enjoyed it all. Y'all have a safe and